Hi, fourth grade friends. This is Miss Jones, your social studies science teacher, with today's lesson on the Chahuilla tribe of the Mojave Desert. When we were last together, we did our reminder of where we find the different Native American tribes, the Hoopa, the Miwok, the Chumash, and the Chahuilla. The last time we were together, we did the Chumash tribe, which was the coastal region, and I hope that you gained some information from that support video to help you better understand what those Native American tribes went through. Today, we're going to talk about the Cahuilla tribe. Sometimes they call the Cahuilla tribe the Serrano tribe as well. It's they kind of intermingled with each other. The difference between the coastal region and the desert region of California obviously is the climate. Climate basically tells the type of weather that you have. On the coastal region, you get a lot of wet, so you have a lot of water. In the desert region, you have the direct opposite. You have no water. In the desert region of California, over here on our big map, I will show you. Okay, the Mojave Desert. The Mojave Desert goes not only in California, but it also goes into Nevada and part of Arizona. So it is gigantic. One of the most unique characteristics of the Mojave Desert is Death Valley. Death Valley was discovered when the pioneers came across to California, and basically they thought that they were over the mountain range and on the other side they would come right to the ocean, and they found out that they hit more desert. So they thought, oh my goodness, it looks like a valley of death because it was very dry, does not have a lot of vegetation, does not have a lot of water. It has its own unique beauty, but it definitely is very dry and extremely hot. This causes the Cahuilla people to have a different type of dynamic when they do their things they eat, their homes that they made, and what they like to wear as well. And you will see that when you watch the videos about the other Native American tribes. I'm going to get rid of our little quick map that we have and come back to our big piece of paper. Okay, on our big piece of paper, today we're going to take some notes on the Chahuilla tribe. It doesn't look like it sounds, okay, but it definitely, that's the way that it is spelled. The Chahuilla tribe is out in the desert area, and I think I'll grab a wider pen because it's easier to see with. Okay. Haha, I found my black one. Okay, they're in the desert region. The climate in the desert region, climate is hot, dry, and receives less than 10 inches of water a year. The coastal region can get more than 10 inches of rain. So they are very lush. It's very wet over there. It's very damp, but the desert is very dry. And it's pretty amazing that you can go from one side of California to the other in a very short amount of time. And the dynamics of the regions change so drastically. It's kind of cool because if you stand out in the middle of Death Valley, you can actually see the highest point on in California, which is Mount Whitney, which goes up 14,000 feet, and Death Valley is 862 feet below sea level. So there's a huge dynamics in the topography of California. Okay, so with our Cahuilla tribe, we're going to talk about where they live, what they like to eat, okay, and what they're pretty much what they're famous for. Unfortunately, with the Chahuilla tribe, they are getting less and less of their tribe members because there's not nearly as many. It didn't start out with as many. The um, Chumash tribe started out between having 1,000 to 1,500 to sometimes close to 3,000 people in it. The Cahuilla tribe started out with only 100 or 150 to 200 people. So, unfortunately, as they continued to move outward and move away, the tribe got less and less. So, this is why it out, and obviously that makes sense, right? Because the desert region has less resources for them to find things. So, they had to find, because the most important thing they needed was water. One unique part about their climate in water is a place called Palm Springs. Okay, Palm Springs has a natural spring oasis there, and this is where the Cahuilla used to congregate around because they had water, and the water would come up from the ground, down from the mountains, and land in this hollow in what they call an oasis, and that's where the water would stay. So it caught a little bit from the bottom, being a natural geology um, area. It would get water from the bottom, so it would be a little bit warmer, and then it would get rain from the top. So it made perfect water temperature for them to bathe in, for them to be able to survive in, and it grew out with trees. Now Palm Springs is a big city, but at that time it was an oasis for the Cahuilla tribe. Okay, so what the Cahuilla tribe used to eat, they were very out in the desert. They again too ate acorns. Okay, they ate rabbit. Okay, they ate cactus. Makes sense in the desert to eat cactus. And they ate what is known as agave. The agave plant is part of the cactus family, and people love to eat agave fruit and pieces of the agave plant because it was very healthy. So these four things are um, is what they ate. Okay, I keep forgetting that I have to write in a full sentence because I'm trying to get everything finished and put on here so you guys can see it. Okay. They were famous. They lived in rectangular um, huts called kish or kishes, like fish. It rhymes. Okay. So they lived in rectangular homes because people lived together. Okay. But they here too, they were made from dry grass or bushes. Okay. They did rock art. That means chiseling into the rock and painting it. Oops, and let's make that so you can see it. They did rock art and sang bird songs. Okay. They were a very oral organization, meaning they didn't write a whole lot of stuff down. So a lot of their heritage got lost because of the fact that they didn't write what they needed to write down. Okay. They also, amazingly enough, because I learned about this too, they had grinding rocks to grind up the acorns. Oops. Boy, Miss Jones is doing bad. just like we have an Indian grinding rock at Chasse. So, but the difference is theirs was on a much smaller scale than the Indian grinding rocks that you see over at Chasse near Volcano and Pine Grove. Okay, so here's what we learned about the Chahuillas. And again, you should be taking these notes, and then we're going to fill in our chart. Okay. So in our chart today, we're going to put that they are in the desert region, that they ate acorns. I'm seeing a pattern here of acorns and rabbit and cactus and agave. Okay. They had rectangular homes called quiche. They had rock art, bird songs, and grinding rocks. Okay, I apologize that I didn't have that written out sooner. Okay, but now you can see the difference between the two Native American tribes that we have learned so far, which are the Chumash and the Chahuilla. Okay, this information is very important because when we fill this all in and we have finished talking about the Native Americans, there will be a quiz on these. So make sure, and this will be what part of your quiz is. So this and your note taking. So please make sure that you're taking notes. Go back, and if you can't see my board, okay, go back and look at your notes. Contact me if you can't, because I will keep them so that we can keep moving forward with what we're learning about of our Native American tribes. So keep working. Have a fabulous time. Next time we will talk about the Hoopa and the Miwoks. We're going to spend a little bit more time on the Miwoks because that's the tribe that's closest to us. So have a wonderful day and keep on working.